European Explorers Opera. In this unit, students will use the medium of opera to tell the story of European explorers in the Americas. Students will explore and describe relationship between musics and other content areas. They'll also describe how context can inform a performance. Students will perform music with appropriate expression, technique, and interpretation. Students will also write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences or events using effective technique, descriptive details, and clear event sequences. Special education accommodations include guided notes, small group work, text chunking or dividing readings into sections, and developmentally appropriate role assignments for performance and rehearsing with students one-on-one.
So let's talk about a little bit what music is. What would you say music is?
Rhythm.
Rhythm, yes.
Anybody want to add to that?
Theme.
Theme, yes. Theme is always in music, is always in a song. Well, we always have to start with what music is and what is the purpose of music in education and arts integration. And then we look at what opera is. An opera is a story that is sung. Once upon a time, there was a girl in a red jacket, and she wore red glasses too.
The Spanish sent Hernando Cortez on an expedition to find gold in the land of the Aztecs. We reviewed through it. I actually had asked them to prime their knowledge before we went into it, just to see what they remembered. So let's just quickly review. Who was Hernan Cortez? Devin.
Spanish explorer.
Spanish explorer, okay. After we would review the content, we sort of wrote down a narrative of the events that took place, and we explored it from a couple of different perspectives. You know, the perspective of the Cortez and their explorers, the perspective of the king, and the perspective of Montezuma and the Aztecs. The Aztec emperor welcomed Cortez and offered him housing and gifts of gold. So what did he do?
Gold.
He gave him gold and what else? Go ahead.
Housing.
Yep, so he basically gave him a place to stay, right? Montezuma gives him all this good stuff, and how does he repay him? Yeah, by capturing him.
When we look at these explorers and where the lands that they went to and that whole dynamic, that is such opera. I mean, it's just so much drama in that. So now that we know the facts, we have to kind of pick things apart and decide who the characters are and what they should say to each other, right? But what other characters should we have in this opera?
Cortez crew.
Cortez's crew, yeah. And then we have to sort of bring the history to life by looking at the characters and what people would say to each other in these things. A history book doesn't tell you what, how they spoke to each other. And so what would you say if you were Cortez, just arriving in this land?
Like that he's Cortez and he's an explorer.
Okay, so my name is Hernan Cortez. I've come to explore your beautiful land. I like taking them through the process of looking at people in history and figuring out how would that sound and how could we put melody on what we've decided that they said to each other. So if you saw Cortez and you came up and you said, welcome, how would you sing it?
Welcome.
Welcome what?
To our country.
Welcome to our country. If you were Hernan Cortez, how would you sing that? So she says, welcome to our land, and you would sing. There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. It's just whatever you allow to come through. Sometimes we program kids so much that I need to know what the right answer is, that they get a lot of anxiety. I'm not gonna do this right, so I'm already gonna shut down because I don't know what the right answer is. But getting beyond that, the right answer is that you've created it, that whatever it is that comes from you is the right answer. So we're asking you all to just be brave like Cortez, stretch a little bit.
I am Hernando Cortez, and I am here to save your land.
We've encouraged them to sing and create the melodies on top of the dialogue that they've written. The dialogue becomes lyrics. The lyrics go into a book called the libretto. So let's just look over what we came up with. The Aztec man says, welcome, traveler. Why do you dress so strangely? Who are you, right? And Cortez says, I am Hernan Cortez, and I represent the glorious kingdom of Spain.
Important things I thought was the practice that we did for it as well, because it's, you know, if we're rehearsing, they read it and they read it and they read it. They're essentially getting repeated reading.
Once they contributed to the lyrics, what I did was adapted it so that the lyrics kind of fell in operatic form, and from that we build the melodies, rhythms, whatever it is that they design. With the costumes, they can feel a little bit more excited about being these people and being these characters.
Can you do that? That's good. It gives them a product at the end. Even if while they're doing it, some of them, you can tell, they felt a little nervous or they felt a little silly, but they'll always have, you know, created this thing, and they can always look back at it and be proud of it. It's definitely something that's rife with possibilities.
One, two, three, four, and.
Good morning, Your Majesty. You are Spain, and I want, please.
But ultimately, you want to pair the visual of the word with the melody in a way that it becomes a permanent part of your learning.
That I will bring glory to the land of Spain.
So next time you see that word, you know it because you've been incorporated into an experience. That's what you want long term, is for them to have a more intimate relationship with reading.